Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. We are live on YouTube. It is Wednesday, December 3rd. Nice little free fall on the NQ here. Had some high impact news here early this morning. Mapped out this little area right there that got respected really nicely on this opening candle. It's probably the 832 candle. A little too early for me to trade, but that was a nice little reaction point right there. So just looking at the moves that the NQ made to the downside, and this would be a secondary reaction point. We obviously have got a lot of unbalanced volume sitting up here, pretty much from the 25,639 all the way up to the 672. Only problem with this is it's very sweepy up here. Very sweepy. Got a lot of tops up here. It's going to be a natural stop loss kind of area. Nice little move, origination out of there. Kind of like yesterday's start, not too much fresh. You know, besides that pullback that we just had, that did create some areas of interest here, and here. This very big stop loss area, so I'm not interested up there. How's everybody doing this morning? Morning, Sun. David, morning. Nora, good morning. Joe, good morning. Coach Cleats, good morning. Steve, good morning. P-Drex, good morning. Michael, good morning. And Cad, good morning. Let's see if we can capture here something this morning. You know, it's kind of the same story with the ES. You know, the unbalanced volume is sitting right here. Well, we pretty much got a triple top up there. Multiple retests. So in scenarios like that, where the unbalanced volume is sitting right here, which is from the 68.57 all the way up to the 68.60s. But this is very, very sweepy up here. All this is going to be a fun place for the market to pop into. Let's take off the IBs for right now. And unfortunately, to the downside, we don't really have much until that 67.63. We need to see a pretty big pullback for that one. Entry on this one is a 67.63, targeting the 67.66. TP2 at the 67.69, and the stop loss at the 67.58. Back to the NQ. Awesome, Juno. Good to have you on part of the group, man. Let's see if we can get some, that was a really nice reaction area point. Again, this was just 2 minutes right into the market open, though, so a little unfortunate, but I can get rid of this guy now. Morning, GTO. Yeah, Melon, actually, if you look in the description of this video, there is a of my YouTube of this live, you'll see that I've got a video that covers in detail how I come up with my levels each morning. Morning, Elder Certo. Hopefully you guys like the new holiday theme on the stream. I figured it'd be a little festive. You know, I got like a North Pole thing sitting like right there. It's kind of weird, but it's what it is. All right, let's see if we can get a decent pullback here. Let's see what the market's looking for right now. So it does like the 450s. What else is it interested in right now? 550s. Yeah, this 550 area is going to probably be a really strong reactionary point. Yeah, it's coming pretty quick. 25, 549.25, targeting the 25, 543.50. TP2 at the 25, 541.50. Stop loss at the 25, 556. I'm going to bring TP down just a tad right here. Down to the 25, 540. And we got some high impact news, so you just got to be careful with the high impact news right now. I think we got PMI, S&P PMI at 845. We got ISM at 9. We got oil inventory report at 9:30. So just be careful here at this 2 minutes to news here. Yeah, 549 looks pretty solid. I just I don't like the timing of it right now. All right, less than a minute to news. And I could see news pushing right up to those 50s too. A lot of balanced volume right there. Morning, Key. I believe today we've got 8:45 news and 9. I believe it's S&P at 8:45 and ISM at 9. That sounds pretty weird, Key. Yeah, resting limit order at the 25,439 at the open was nowhere. It's 12 points away. I don't see how that could be possible, getting that kind of slippage. As far as my, let's pull it up here. As far as these levels, if you're referring to these are all mechanical. There's a very simple process to come up with these levels. You know, how we incorporate it with the volume profile, and some of the tools that I use, there's probably a bit of discretion there. But the levels are very mechanical. So unfortunately on the ES, we've just been kind of sitting in this range since pretty much Thanksgiving. So very difficult to trade the ES right now based on volume. We need to break out of this range to need to see some more impulsive moves. One way or the other, I don't really care which way it wants to go. Okay, even though even though price action might not show that it got to your entry, you know, obviously that what you're describing, 10 plus points, is kind of nutty, but it doesn't have to show on the charts that it came to a level. Slippage is that's what they call slippage, where if you enter into a very high volatility environment like high impact news, obviously the open. You know, it might not tap in, but you might get 3 or 4 points of slippage. It's very rare, but at the market open right at the 8:30 candle, there's a possibility of it. But 10, 11 points, which is what you were describing, that seems a little unlikely. Talk to Ninja. Call their customer support or the brokerage that you're using. That's what they're there for, man. That's what we're paying our commissions for, is for them to answer and fix what issues you have. And if they can't, or if they can't explain it, then you got to go find somewhere else. Meaning another brokerage or another platform. All right, so the 350s seems like a pretty natural area for the NQ to want to visit, just to get some liquidity into the markets here. That came quick. I'd like to see it break here, the 240s, or I'm sorry, the 420s. Is where I'd like to see it break next. A lot of stops here, and then we could start looking in this area right here that they just left unbalanced. But I want to see a break of structure first. Yeah, guys. My personal rule. I mean, obviously you guys do whatever you guys need to do for your trading, but my rule is 5 to 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after. It's a no go. I mean, I mapped out a perfect setup that looked A+ to me right at the open, but I still didn't even touch it because, you know, that's when the big positions are entering into the market, regardless of what we might think is, you know, high volume, unbalanced. It's just they're taking positions on early in the morning. So now we're in a scenario, I believe, similar to, I don't know if, I feel like the S&P and the ISM, I felt like it was yesterday, but I don't know why it came back again. Just make sure I got that right, because it feels like we just did that a couple days ago. Am I insane in thinking that? December 3rd. Yeah. 8:45, 9 o'clock ISM. So we got about 5 minutes to ISM news coming out. So I'll give this about another minute here, and I'll take off my resting limit order and just kind of watch it with the footprint and see what I see. Morning, Nate. U.S. capacity utilization. I don't think I've ever even seen that one. All right, so I'm going to take my resting limit order off, and then we'll kind of just watch price action coming up to the news. And we'll see what happens here. And unfortunately, they just balanced out what I would have been looking at. The area that was previously unbalanced was sitting right here. So they just balanced that all out. But again, I would have needed it to break structure for this to have any meaning to me. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I knew I wasn't going nuts. I had seen them both on there. I'm like, we just see this report? So today is services, and on Monday was manufacturing. All right, 3 minutes to news. Be right back. So Microsoft just announced it's lowering their AI software sales quota. I know the market reacted really well to Microsoft's, and I think it was Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA that all came out with AI news about 2 weeks ago that the market really liked. It doesn't seem like it's hasn't affected the NQ yet too much. How'd you guys finish off the day yesterday? Green or red? Type in the comments. I pretty much only took that one trade yesterday on the NQ. The first one was up 600 on all the accounts. I was pretty happy with that. Very nice little move here. All right, back to the resting limit order there. Steve Green, Nordic Green, Michael slightly red because of that bad fill. Yeah, I remember reading on that one. Steve Green, CAD, and red on day, unfortunately. Chump Sauce Green. Juno, yeah, I used the volume profile. So I used the volume profile for my stops. So like if we've got a peak up here, if we got an entry sitting right down here, I would like to have my stop loss sitting in an area where it's got to go through a big bunch of volume. And then obviously I do adjustments with level 2. I mean, it's a pretty tight stop here. It's about 7 points. It's also pretty small TP as well. Oh, that was a bad spike right there. That was nasty. That was a real bad spike. Well, we got nothing on that one. On to the next one. Got the footprint confirmation as well. Oh, that was an ugly one. Not a good start to the morning. And the worst part is that it didn't leave anything good in its trails. Just back into the same range. No, Juno, typically if while I'm on stream, I'm managing a lot of different things here. So I mean, if I get a good lapse in time, then I'll post it on there. And yeah, so the signals on my group are super A+, but I felt pretty good about that one. We had a really good level of defense there. A lot of unbalanced volume. I just did not like that secondary spike. We got the reaction right at the entry, but then we got that secondary spike, and again, it was a few minutes. I think it was 2 minutes after news, which again, I don't even know why I put my resting limit order there at exactly 9 a.m. That was, again, really just a stupid move. I thought that we'd already placed, I thought more time had elapsed after the high impact news, but still didn't make any. Just a bad setup. It didn't pan out. At least the stop loss on that one was pretty tight. I don't know, Michael. I think I saw a confirmation, a footprint confirmation. At least on my. Oh, now I deleted that. I deleted the entries. 200 EMA. Oh boy. So the reason that it stopped here is, if you guys saw where I have my big unbalanced volume box, that's right here. That's the only reason that this market turned here. Everything else is just a correlation of timing. But this was an area of big unbalanced volume. It's just the entry sucked ass. And if I look back, so I had an area right here that I did not like because it did not break structure. It had an area right here that I did not like because it didn't break structure. But this is the areas that had a lot of unbalanced volume. All the other lines that you've got on a chart, there's just correlation. There's correlation on the timing of where that line is popping up on. Other than that, these are your reaction points. And where my entry was right here, was this unbalanced area that did break structure right here. So that's where I had put that's where I thought the initial reaction was going to be. Everything else that aligns is just a correlation of timing. That's it. You know, the area now that the market left unbalanced is right down here. Is in this area. Looks like shit on the volume profile. And if you take a look, very difficult to get a clean entry there. My only area for an entry that I see in this area is right here and right here. But this down here, forget about it. You've got the 420s that they want to come after. You've got stop sitting at the 430 psychological number. It's the terrible area to take a setup from. And this here just doesn't have enough space. I don't have enough space for my TP1s. All this has been balanced out already. All of this up here. So that's what unqualifies this entire unbalanced volume area for me personally. Now, will we see reaction points at these places? Yeah, possibly. But they're not high setup. Not like the one that I had already mapped out this morning. It's weird. I could have swore I saw. Maybe I was looking at the later price action and not where the entry was at. But I could have swore I thought I saw 30 something green of Delta with a red footprint candle, but. All right, 15 minutes to IB. Let's see if that hopefully gives us some kind of... So Michael, on your screenshot here, what I remember seeing, oh, this is stop. That's my stop right there. Oh, yeah. I don't know, maybe it was on the pullback. That is when I saw it. Maybe I didn't go over too much to the left to see it. So I've been trying to get a little bit more aggressive on the NQ with the limit orders. I don't know, it's been about a 50-50 proposition on that. Typically for the last couple of months, just been trading strictly off the footprint confirmation on the ES and the NQ. But it's hard to avoid looking at really good stats on just the resting limit order, so we'll see. We'll see what we can do here. We're not out of the fight. All right, 10 minutes set type B. I don't recommend that, Juno. I understand the logic behind it. You know, if you've got a 78% win rate, you know, you can always have the thinking that your second trade of the day has a higher probability of winning because you've already taken that loser already. So some people will go and double their size, but 78% still leaves 22% of a fail rate, and you never know when that 22% might come in bunches, and you keep doubling down, and it's just not good for capital preservation. So no, I don't recommend it. If you're trying to pass an eval, it's a different story. You can get more aggressive on your evaluations, but I'm trading 2 cash accounts here and 5 funded accounts. So all right, 8 minutes IB. I'm going to go refresh my coffee. All right, I'm loaded back up. What if you plan for like 5 losses in a row, which I think you have a good win rate? I think my statement that I said before still holds true. You know that I don't know if you're talking about taking 5 losses and doubling on every single, like a martingale system, but that's I don't know. All right, 3 minutes to IB. $274. You have this area right up here at exactly at the IB high, so that's going to be definitely some good stop loss hunt right there. I don't see much liquidity above it that it might want to go for in a hurry. Don't see that. Yeah, the chances of 4 consecutive losers are low, but there's that rare instance. And I mean, again, it depends on what you're trading. If you're trading your own cash accounts and you're going to be doubling your position every time, do you want to put yourself in that risk? If you're trading evals, go for it, man. But real capital, it's not. I personally don't feel like that's the greatest plan. Because if you look back in July was my worst month. I think I must have gotten at least close to at least 3 or 4 consecutive losers. So you never know when you get one of those environment days that it's not conducive to your strategy. The market's just got other things in mind. July was tariffs. And the volatility, especially with some smaller stop losses. 10 to 11 points is my typical stop. I did adapt in June, so if you look at June, my stops were a little bit bigger. And my win rate went right back up to, I don't know, 70%, I think it was. But it all depends on what you're trading, what accounts you're trading. Yeah, no worries. Nora, you can find unbalanced areas by candlesticks. Your 5 and your 15-minute levels. So remember, on my levels, I'm looking for an impulsive move that does a U-turn in the market, and it has to break structure on that time frame. That's how I start with my unbalanced areas. Unbalanced, balanced, that's all mechanical. Levels is all mechanical. It will always end up, well, not always end up with a fair value gap. I don't trade fair value gaps. I don't even look at them. I don't map them. I'm just looking at areas that break structure and with an impulsive move. So does that, well, let's see here. Let's get ready. I got the wrong chart up here. Dang, that was a quick one. So I got my footprint confirmation a little late on that one. That was kind of wacky. A lot of stops there. All right, nicely done. Nicely done. All right, back in the green. So hopefully you guys saw the footprint confirmation on that one. But that was a beauty. That was a beauty. I'll show you. Let me see if I can bring up my bigger footprint confirmation here. My bigger chart. All right, let's see if we can find this together here. Whoa. Let's see if I can get this okay. So let's find the IB. Visible. Let's see right here. So this is the footprint confirmation. I did this one visually today. Let's see. And then you could have gotten in at this another entry right here. Even though this didn't print red, you can see that that's would have been a down candle, and that would have given you a very nice secondary right there. Even though this one wasn't technically a red footprint candle. Pretty damn close though. But this is what I got into my entry, and I think I entered in right around here, so probably about 2 points under the IB. Oh, nice. Back in the green then. Plus 1245. I'll take it. That's 15 points right there. I don't know what it totally would have given you. Let's just take a look here. Let's look at the drawdown first. Oh, it looks like 7 points to me. I am blind as a bat right now. I don't know if that says 8.5 or 6.5. I think it's 6.5. That might be 8.5. And then total, I think you might have gotten more right here, but let's just see what this would have given us here. Just for shits and giggles. 17 points. Okay. So again, my my IUB play, and so that's the initial balance, first hour of the market. I am I'm looking for once price action that taps in or crosses my IB. I am looking for a footprint confirmation, which is a red footprint candle with positive delta, and that is my confirmation to get into that trade. And I always target 15 points take profit, 15 points stop loss. And I got to answer this. It's probably going to be a scammer, but let me, let's see. All right, wasn't a spammer. It was a very friendly village inspector, which is rare. All right, so the only other area I've got right now is this little pocket right here at the 25,663 down to the 25,645, but this coincides with a very high stop area right here. So this could get very sweepy up here. We did obviously have a very strong move. It's unbalanced. Oh, and I forgot who asked me about the fair value gaps. Nor. I don't know, Nor, if you're still on. But if you notice, majority of my entries are not... I don't know, because I really don't look at the candles to see if there's an FEG there, a fair value gap. But typically my entries are not going to be in the fair value gap. Typically, I mean, again, it's got to align with my volume profile, order book. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. But fair value gaps are typically areas that will, you know, price tends to run pretty quickly through. So that's, you know, unless I'm using that as a TP, I do like targeting my unbalanced areas on my TP 1 and 2. And I am pretty much beginning of January. There's going to be an entire series that's going to be released that's going to go over every single aspect of my trading. So I hopefully that'll alleviate, I think, a lot of the questions too. Also, my signals. You know, I'm going to make a video on this, but my signals starting in January are going to migrate to a different platform. So I'm going to be migrating the YouTube and my Discord members into one platform. And the platform is going to be the central hub where all my signals come from, my all my teachings. And the nice thing is that all my signals now will have text alert, email alert, notification on your phone, and all of the live streams each morning will be simulcasted into that platform and into my and into YouTube. So there's a lot that's going to be happening in the beginning of January. I've been working on it for about 3-4 months. I've been given some I guess you call them teasers on YouTube on my posts. But I'm pretty excited about where that's going to be going into for 2026. I think it's just going to be a lot more simplified. So here's the issue that I have with YouTube and Discord. One that I think is a little unfair. In Discord, so my signal service fees has been $39.99. Let's just call it $40 a month. And when you sign up through Discord, and this is just on the desktop, we'll talk about the mobile in a second, but on the desktop, if you sign up for the $40, there's about $8 in Discord fees that I pay on that membership every month. So it really comes down to about $32. On YouTube, it's even less. They even take a little bit more, so I end up making about $28 to $29 there. On the new platform, it's going to be maybe $2 is the fee that's going to be for myself. But here's the real kicker. If you join my Discord or my YouTube membership through mobile, you're paying like $10 extra. And I think that's like just, I don't even know if I should be saying this online, but I think that's robbery. And that's for the Apple subscription fee and the Google Play fee that they add onto it. So I completely think that that's just very unreasonable. So with the new platform, you know, the current members that are on my YouTube and on my Discord, they'll be locked in at that $39.99 price for as long as they have their membership. But the membership to the Signal service starting in January is going to increase for any new members. But I've been looking for solutions for the text messaging of my signals, which I think would be a huge help, especially for those that are at work and just don't have Discord, or, you know, yeah, I know you can get the notification, but I think a text message straight to the phone with the entry, the take profit, the stop loss, I think will be kind of invaluable. And there's really no good service available to me through Discord, because Discord, when you sign up as a member, I don't have your phone number. I don't have your email address. There's no consent for me to text you. So there's I've looked at a lot of solutions with Twilio. There's a text app, but all of them require obviously consent for me to text. And it becomes a pain in the ass when I don't have that information. So I'm very excited I think it's going to make my life even a little bit easier, and I think it's going to make the experience for the members a lot stronger. You got it, Juno. So what do I consider balanced? Well, let's go back to my... Let me just scan really quickly the ES. So now, like, for instance, on this play here, you know, I have an area here of unbalanced volume that I see at the 68.97 up to the 68.60. This is not answering your question right now. Shit, who asked me that? Nora. So I'm not talking about this right now, but when you find areas of unbalanced volume, another great trade idea that you can look at, again, there's a reason why I'm not mapping this out as an entry, because of what we got brewing right up here. Okay, so it looks very sweepy to me, where we want to tap into this area, which then makes my stop loss a pretty big one for me to have like a good level of defense. Let me actually just see what order book's doing right now. So the 90s, I'm sorry, the 56. Where does the 56 fall? So the 56 falls right here. They've got, you know, obviously a really big chunk. And then the 60s, so right up here. So this is an area that they're going to want to, right here, they're going to want to come after. And then right at the top of that box where all of that volume is going to be sitting at. Now, a simple trading idea, if you know, are having a hard time, is just if you can find this box, which again, to me is pretty simple, but you know, we'll kind of get into that. If you drop down to the footprint, to the ES footprint chart, and in an area like this that's a little bit bigger, you might want to increase your range on your footprint chart from like 4 to like 8, and wait for a footprint confirmation anywhere in this shaded box right here, and then just target your next unbalanced area down here, which would be a level on the 1 minute or the 30-second. So I will, I could probably actually just keep it on the 4. I'll keep it on the 4 range just for this visualization. But once we get up here, I'll show you what I see there. But to answer your question about balanced or unbalanced, since we got a little time here and I got really no fantastic setup yet. All right, so, you know, let's say that we've got some candlesticks here going up, prices going up, and let's do one more up so we have some room. And then something in the market, okay, which is volume, but something in the market just hits a roadblock here, okay? And then you get a strong impulsive move down. What I'm looking for is, one, I need to see a break of structure here, okay? So I would need the next candle. I would want to see a candle break through there, okay? Now, what I would consider to be unbalanced volume area would be right here. Okay, so that's where you see my big boxes kind of coming off to the right. And what I don't want to see, how I know that this is balanced or unbalanced, is if this candle, or let's just say even this candle, makes a wick here, like that, prior to breaking structure, this now has been balanced out. Because what it's happening here is that only the big market participants can, sorry, let me move this to the screen here. Only big market volume participants can make this type of reversal, okay? Regardless of what anybody tells you, it's very simple concept. Only big volume participants can move. So if they move aggressively out of an area, okay, out of an area that's stopped, they got stopped for one reason or the other, again, i.e. volume. If they break structure down here, which the reason why let's say that this is, you've got some candles coming here, so that indicates break of structure now, so we can all understand we're on the same page. What a lot of people don't understand is the reason why break of structure is important is because for it to break structure, it means that it already had enough impulse, it had enough steam and volume behind it to break a previous area that was also unbalanced. Okay, so this is an area that you're going to see good volume at. If the market's strong enough and pulls right through it, now I'm interested in this box. But if this impulsive move is weak, is not strong, what do the sellers need, or what does the market need to do? It needs to come back up and tap into what they left up here to finish this move. And now at this point, all of this has been balanced out. So I'm not interested in this trade anymore. I'm only looking at trades that are unbalanced, meaning no prior wicks coming into the area that I have marked off as unbalanced and balanced. And again, I go really in depth with some of the videos that are going to be coming out on all of this. But that's, I think, as clearly as I can visually show it. It's funny you say that, Joe, because there was an indicator. There was an indicator I found. I think it was free. I don't think you had to pay for it, but there was an indicator that I found that that took your plots in NinjaTrader, and then, or I'm sorry. No, you're saying from Discord. Like taking the actual, my text from Discord and putting it into on the charts? That would be insanely cool. I don't even know how. My brain can't even wrap around how that would even happen, but okay. Oh, that's really cool, Joe. What I was talking about was completely different. But it was a text file that I can update with the signals that would then shoot it out to NinjaTrader. I know that that's available somehow. But it's like you start thinking about all the extra things that you got to do when a signal comes out, and I don't know, it just leaves room for errors. I mean, one day I tested just putting the signals into the chat. You know, when I find a setup on stream, just putting it into the chat so it would be easier for people to read. That was before I increased the font on the labels. But even that, I mean, it just leaves room for error. And that's what happened. I think we had one signal that's luckily somebody caught. They saw what the chart read and they're like, Rob, that your TP, I can't remember what it was wrong. And I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's not worth making a mistake with my capital and other people's trading. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream, I appreciate it. So one thing I've noticed with the ESIB, this is a very small sample size because I just started really plotting it maybe about a week and a half ago, and let's just take out the week of Thanksgiving. That was kind of a shit week. That was just a rangy, garbagey kind of sessions. But in general, I haven't really seen much. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that the ES and the NQ don't follow similar similar reaction points, because again, one thing that I also think is extremely important in your trading strategy is to have a strategy that works on every market. So yes, it works really nicely on the NQ. We saw the initial reaction here. You would have gotten your 17 points or 15 points. I'm sorry. But this just happens constantly. I mean, it's a very, very repeatable. You know, you'll go through some stretches where, you know, it blows through it. Again, with the footprint confirmation, it kind of helps you on those scenarios. Another thing also to look out for is that this was obviously a very natural area for liquidity, just because this was the tops, which you usually will see in the IB. I mean, for the IB to be set, you're going to have to be on a top somewhere. So that will form liquidity. And but there was really nothing above it that I saw that there was an immediate run to. I think it was the 600s that I think I might have mentioned it. I don't know if you remember what I said there, but I think the 600s, and I think it was like the 650. So right up here where where I have this area marked off were the two big areas where the market had a good pocket of liquidity. And again, on the IB play, that's where level 2 will help you out a lot too, because you can kind of see what's forming at that level. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to this unbalanced area right here. Actually, let me just see what's unbalanced down here. Let's see what I see that's immediately unbalanced. So the 524s, where does that coincide? 524s right here. So yeah, so it just happens to be right in that unbalanced area. So this could be a target for the market right here, that it can displace that auction that they conducted at the IB and at the 600s. And then obviously their next area of an open auction would be in this box right here that I got from the 645 to the 653s. So these are two of the natural places for the market wanting to go. This seems very simple to me. Move right here to the 524s. That's would be the most logical place for me for it to go. But also, again, if you could see, I mean, this area has been churned through quite a lot. Unlike this area up here, that is very fresh for the market to go after. So how they get there is tough to predict, but where they want to go is typically pretty easy to predict. If that makes any sense, I don't know. It sounded a little dumb as I said it, but. And then on your higher time frame, you're going to see here that at the 596s, which is going to be right around the 600s, that's where we start getting into a lot more big volume. So that's why they're very attracted to this area right here. Now you could actually see it right here on the, I don't know if this is going to draw. Yeah. So right there on the volume profile, you could see that this was an area. It's going to run pretty quickly through here and then start to see resistance there. This one doesn't really set up, but this is part of a bigger node right here. I think you'll see it a little bit better on the higher time frame. But how it gets to here and how it gets to there, man, the market is wacky, and that's why momentum trading, in my opinion, is very difficult. All right, so we had an early loser for about 8 points. Got 15 points back on that NQ IB trade, which I'm pretty happy about. It's a nice footprint confirmation. Pretty classical setup there. 15-point stop seemed to be a perfect amount of risk on that trade. And then let's see above that, is there anything else that is on the horizon? All right, let me jump down to the 15-minute here. And let's go up here. Might have to increase my my days for my volume profile here. Okay, so this is your next big pocket after here. This is going to be your next big pocket of unbalanced volume, sitting at the 25,768 all the way up to the 25,812. So this is a big area that the market's going to want to gravitate towards. And let me just scan that to see what's going on there. That's all garbage. It's been all balanced out. As they left there, they balanced out a good amount of that. That's pretty much it to the top side. Let's go back to the 1. All right, guys, it's 10 o'clock, 10:05. I think I'm going to call it for today. I don't really see much as far as ASM high A+ quality setups here. Had fun with you guys on stream today. Hopefully answered some good questions. And if you haven't, please hit the like button on the stream. If you're interested in any of the prop accounts, just use code TraderRob. I super appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at the market open. Take care, everybody. Have a great day of trading and be patient out there.